One of the old adage, right, to be successful in life is, especially when it comes to finance, don't spend more than what you make. Right? If you could, it doesn't matter how much money you make, because another adage is that the more money you make, the more you spend.
Welcome to another episode of our podcast series here today. We are happy and excited to be with you. And, you know, we've talked in our previous videos about resolutions and what 2024 has been for us. Now, sticking to our resolutions, we want to talk about budgeting specifically, because that's one of the things that we every year, once the year starts, we're talking about our finances. So today we want to talk about how we can ensure that we stick to our budgets that we're going to set ourselves out. How do you set a budget for yourself? Do you start from month to year or year to month? Or weekly?
Holy cow, you're scaring me. I start one with an annual goal. What do I want to accomplish this year, right? And typically it's either going to be 5 or 10 things that I want to accomplish. So I have an annual figure.
Yes.
And then I just divide it by 12 months and just make sure that I achieve those on a monthly basis.
So in terms of your income, you say, okay, my annual income, you make 6 figures, but we're not gonna.
Holy cow! Where did that come from?
You got your rebates, and you get your everything, and,
all right.
and you get your 6 figures.
Okay.
All right. That's why you can go.
I don't know about that, but we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
He golfs in the Bahamas. Tell me.
Antigua.
Okay. So it's cheaper in Antigua to golf than Bahamas.
That is correct.
So you get this money, you divide it by 12. Then how do you put your expenses? Do you put expenses in terms of, hey, these are the expenses that are, do you do it like discretionary, non-discretionary, or do you just list all your expenses?
Yeah. So basically, I at this stage I only have my discretionary expense is probably a one-line item called golf. Everything else is pretty much fixed.
You have to pay.
So I at this stage I don't have any super any additional expenses except for housing and things of that nature. But the way I approach it is that first, kind of remember the book The Wealthy Barber by David Chilton?
Yes.
Pay yourself first. So right off the bat, before I even get any money out for me to spend, money is taken off my paycheck. So automatically money comes in, money goes out before I could actually touch it. So it goes towards TFSA, RSPs, insurance, and other goals. I live on what's left. I don't start from the top. I don't start from my paycheck. I go after all the deductions, after all the savings. What's left, that's my discretionary type of
So
income.
because when I do budgeting for myself, or what I tell people is that this is what I do. I say, whatever you get paid, 20% is going towards your savings.
Definitely.
80% is what you're going to have for your budgeting. Okay, so 20% gone to saving, you've paid yourself. That 80% that's left for you, you're going to take out the expenses that you know you have to pay, your rent, your insurance costs, or those premiums you have to incur. The expenses that I can cut back or I can control, groceries, etc. I know that I have some leeway. Okay, January, I'm not going to eat as much. January, I don't have to entertain as much. Okay, Valentine's Day is February. That's just one day. So my expenses for grocery, those fluctuate during the course of the year. Now, sometimes it's hard to know which one to fluctuate. But you mentioned things like your contributions. You're going to have to ensure you pay your contributions to your RSP, if you have those, your TFSAs before April 30th. So you want to ensure that you have
December 30th. December 31st.
What am I saying? Yes, December 31st. So you want to ensure that you have those allocated for those times of the year, right? So that's how I do my expenses. Those that I can't control, hey, I'm gonna put those first. Those that I can and I have the discretion, like clothing, that's probably a last line item, because I don't need to buy clothes. I could wear the same thing 5 years, right? But
no comment, but go ahead.
Golfing, I know I do that only in a period of time for the year. So I have seasonal expenses, right? And that's how I go about doing budgeting, and that's how I can make it more realistic to me. All right? But I like the idea that you can say, okay, this is my annual income. This is what I'm going to earn minus bonuses or whatever I'm going to get. And these are my expenses. It's a simple plan, and that means I can stick to that.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I kind of go by that acronym KISS, right? Simple plan. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Keep it very simple. So that's why I kind of go, you know what, annual divided by 12. And yeah, you're right. There's going to be some seasonality associated with it. So that's why a big chunk is like emergency fund. So if I don't spend that much this particular month, I'm going to put it aside into a savings type of component because I know come February is a big month for me. Birthday, family day. Everybody in my family pretty much born in the month of February, so I know those expenses are going to be a bit more at that time, and I tend to go away in the month of February. So in January I don't spend as much. So whatever extra that I have will be there to pay for February, and then after that things go down. So really, it's hard to keep the seasonality and all that.
Yes.
So if you could just keep on a month-to-month basis, and whatever you don't spend, just put it aside for future month. But after you've paid yourself first.
And just to end on a final note here, one of the hardest things about budgeting is to ensure that you're controlling your expenses. So what are some of the things that you do to ensure that you staying in line? Okay, 80% is income. Or whatever your income is, you're gonna spend 80% of that, or 20 or 90% of that. How do you ensure you stay there so that 10% is always a buffer available for emergencies, as you mentioned?
Yeah, no, you're right. So one of the old adage, right, to be successful in life, is, especially when it comes to finance, don't spend more than what you make. Right. If you could. It doesn't matter how much money you make, because another adage is that the more money you make, the more you spend. Really, what you want to do, and what I do, is to make sure that I stay within a certain threshold. Is as soon as I spend something, or as soon as I buy something. So let's say later on today I'm gonna go put gas in the car. So I'm gonna use my credit card as a way to get points from my credit card company, so I could eventually go on a trip with it, with air miles and things of that nature. But then as soon as I paid for it with my credit card, I go home and I transfer the money from my bank account to pay my credit card. I don't wait until 30 days from now when my credit card bill is this much and wonder, how am I going to pay for this? Because I would have spent all the money throughout. I just use my credit like a debit. I use it, and then I automatically transfer and pay for it. So that way I know this is, when I look at my bank account, that's all I have. This is all I have. And as a result of that, I've got to stay within that limit for the month.
And there are many things that you can use out there. There are apps, etc., that can alert you. So one of the things that you want to, I would say, throw in there is to say, okay, I know that whatever income I have, if my expenses are at a certain level, let's say on the 20th day of the month, I'm already 60% of my expenses. It should send me an alert saying, hey, you're 60% of your expenses already. You only have 30% to go. So it means that I will not go to the restaurant because Stephanie says, hey, we need to go to the restaurant. No, I'm not going to go. I'm going to say, no, I can't make it. My budget is running tight this month. All right. I'm not gonna go golfing with Pierre. Pierre, instead of buying coffee every week, I'm gonna buy him one coffee for the month, and I'm not gonna see him. I don't want to see him for the rest of the month.
Oh no,
I can't. That's 2025 for you, okay? Because we've got several expenses that might come up that you don't expect. All right, and we're not going to factor in the $250 that we might get. Those are other things that we can put towards saving. We're not going to factor in income. People think, oh, I'm going to get this money, so I'm going to spend extra this month,
right,
so that I can pay it off next month. No,
that's right.
We shouldn't do that. We should stick to that budget. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to do that for 2025.
That's a plan.
All right, that's the plan for 2025. That's it for our video today. Thank you so much for watching. You can subscribe, and subscribe, and share with your family and friends so we can continue offering you great content. Take care. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.